Sharp King here. Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com off of Love Can't Wait. And yesterday, someone sent me an article, and it's about confessions of a racist white man, and he's married to a black woman. And I read it earlier, and I wanted to do a video about it. And I'm going to talk about the psychology and the mindset of most white men and most white people. And this article was written 3 years ago, but this mindset still exists with a lot of white guys. So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to go into details. And I'm going to put the link of this website at the bottom of this video as well. So check this out. He says, I want to tell you something, and I think my situation is actually quite common. I am a white man who was married to a black woman. I still generally dislike other blacks, and before I met her, I was a borderline KKK member. I think many people are like me in that they may hate most blacks, but have a best friend who is black or even be married to a black woman. I love my wife. I need her. I want her. I feel very comfortable around her. I feel with her I can be myself. She makes me laugh. I desire her intensely, and no other woman can compare next to her. Simply put, I love her. I will beat the living crap out of anyone who says anything to my wife. I don't have a problem going to jail for breaking someone's nose or teeth if they dare call my wife the N-word. If the guy is bigger than me, I will take a knife and stab the mofo out of him until he looks like the bark of a paper birch. Whatever. And he goes on to say, now with that being said, I generally don't like blacks. I know the autonomy is strange to many people, but when you think it through, it's not strange at all. I think most blacks are low-level beings, borderline monkeys, actually. I don't think they have a desire to learn or improve themselves. They have degenerate values that feels normal in their culture. I mostly hide my feelings from my wife because I don't want to hurt her, but this is how I honestly feel. So that's the first part of the confession. This confession 2. Now listen to the psychology of this guy. He said he's married to his wife. He said he claims he loves her, wants to be with her. He would beat the heck out of anybody or even go to jail for her. But at the same time, this is how he feels about black people. See, a lot of people think that just because they got married to a white person, that somehow they've changed their way of thinking and this psychology. But nope, doesn't work that way. So here's the rest of it. It's not too long. Confession 2. When I first met my wife, the first thought was yuck, a dirty black monkey. But then I heard her voice. There was something in her voice that made my heart stop. We made eye contact, and right away I felt a connection. At that point, I saw her as a person, and what she looked like didn't bother me anymore. I couldn't believe it myself. I told myself this was nothing more than a fetish. I wanted to indulge in bestiality and try some black pussy, that's all. If I just if her if I just fucked her, then I'll get her out of my system. So I asked her out and we started dating. From the very beginning, I felt so comfortable with her. I didn't feel as if I had to put up a front or pretend. I could just be myself, and I could tell she liked me too. And he goes on to say, the first time she allowed me to make love to her was like heaven. I had never felt that sexual and emotional connection with any woman. Still at the back of my head, I told myself, she's black. I can't fall in love with a black woman. And so I started to distance myself from her. Still, I couldn't get her out of my head. I wanted her, and the thought of any other man touching her drove me insane. So, even after he slept with her, he's still, in his mind, he's still saying, this shouldn't be happening. He can't fall in love with a black woman. And I've ran into women that were just like this. So I'm going to continue. And so I asked her to marry me, and luckily for me, she said yes. My whole family refused to attend the wedding. I didn't care. I loved her and wanted to make her mine. We've been together for about 6 years now. We've had our ups and downs, like any couple, and you know what I found out? Despite the fact that I am still generally racist, we have never had a fight over race. I have never gotten upset with her because she was a black woman. It was always other stuff that other couples fought about. Yes, so I am a racist, but for some strange reason, I need her and love her. I see her as a different. What he said? I see her as different from other black people. I don't see her race. I see her personality when I look at her. I see my wife, my companion, my love. And that's it. So, after all of him going into details, how he felt about black people, how he felt about her in general, and how he didn't want to fall in love with her, and how he didn't even want to get a connection with her because of what his family might have thought about. And he ended up getting married to her anyway. His family didn't show up, nobody showed up to the wedding. So after all of that, being married to her, and by now they probably got kids, he's still a racist. He still has the same mentality, that same psychology. And I've met white women that were like this. But the only difference between her and me is I got out. I outsmart people. That's the thing. That's my whole purpose of reading this article is to tell you that just because someone lays up with you, just because you date someone, just because you marry someone, just because you work with someone, that doesn't really mean very much. Really. I mean, that's just talk. That's just, people can put up a good front. They put on a good face. And just because someone invites you over to their house, or y'all go on a vacation together, that doesn't really say very much either. What gets my attention, if you're a white guy, what would get my attention if you're a white guy, is if you stand up for me, is if you put your livelihood on the line, is if you share your resources with me. That gets my attention. As far as dating and having sex, that doesn't really mean very much to me. Doesn't hold too much weight. And his wife, I've met a lot of guys that were like this when I went to college and when I worked corporate jobs, because I think sometimes some guys, some black males, and I think sometimes black people in general, they seek validation from people in the dominant society. So sometimes working jobs, especially, some people will, in jobs there's written rules and there's unwritten rules. So a lot of black males that I used to work around, they would kind of go out of their way to say and do things. And sometimes they would try to put themselves in the company of white women or in the circles of white women because they was trying to impress their boss or supervisor. And if you ever work a corporate job, this type of people sleep with each other all the time. So that's not anything unusual. But at the same time, that doesn't mean they think highly of you as a black male. It's this mentality has been ingrained in people in America and all around the world. So I wanted to do this video just to bring to your attention that just be careful who you date and who you lay up with. It takes time to really get to know people. It takes a good at least 7 years to really get to know someone. And the fastest way to really get to know them is to spend time with them outside of their environment, outside of their comfort zone, and bring them into your comfort zone and see how they react. And just be careful. Just be on your game. That's it. So I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna put the link at the bottom of this video. So just tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. And check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Until next time, Shump King is out. Peace.